Welcome to Boring Money, Rich Life. I am your host, Joy Hicks. Today we're going to talk about cutting back on expenses so that you can invest in assets. I will say this is something that I definitely have to learn and am working on myself because me personally, I used to shop like every weekend. Like me and my girls, we would, you know, drive up to Denver or drive up to Castle Rock literally every Saturday, go shopping. Then after that, we would go to a nice restaurant, have some drinks, have dinner. And this was literally every week. And I'm like, okay, I had to cut back on that because I'm like, this is getting a little bit out of hand, right? And same thing with like my lashes. Like I was going to a lady that I love. She did my lashes just the way that I love them. But I was literally paying her like $90 every 2 weeks for my lashes. And I'm like, oh, I think one of the issues with making more money is that anytime that we get like promotions or we get bonuses or we get a new job where we're making more money, we tend to spend more money. So it's like we don't even see the difference. We don't even see the increase in our income because it's like as soon as our job or salary increases, so do our expenses. And I actually attended a finance seminar last year. It was just like a 1 day workshop, but he was really talking about like cutting back. And so that was really when I was like, okay, let me sit down. Let me actually really catalog everything that I'm spending. And I was like, yeah, this is a lot. This is a lot, like a lot of eating out. Like I said, going out to eat all the time, going to happy hours, definitely traveling, shopping, all these things. And even the things that you really don't consider to be expensive. So, like all of the TV subscriptions that I had, I don't know, just all these things. And I'm like, yeah, this is very expensive. So obviously, I still have lashes, but I learned how to do them myself because I'm like, this is crazy. Because imagine if every 2 weeks I was putting $90 into like my investment account. Like that would be great, right? But instead, I'm kind of just wasting that money. And, obviously I look good, but it's very easy to learn to do it yourself as well. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like it's very, very important when you're trying to move from just being a consumer and moving to being an investor that you start to cut back on discretionary expenses. So I still travel, right? I still love to take vacations and see different parts of the world, but that's something that I can save up for. I think the issue comes in where we have all of these last minute trips that we didn't plan for and we didn't budget for, and now we put ourselves in a bind trying to get there. So, like, last October, I turned 30, and I have been planning that trip for like a year and a half. I didn't know where I was going, but I knew I was going somewhere. So it's like it didn't creep up on me. I was able to save for it. I did everything I wanted to do. I was on the yacht. I went to nice dinners. I bought all the outfits I wanted to buy, but that's because I planned for it. But I think that's definitely not something that I do every day because it's not going to give me the goal that I want, right? Like I could go out to eat every single day if I wanted to, but at the end of the day, you're kind of fueling somebody else's dream. And the whole point of this channel is for us to really start fueling our rich life. Like that is the goal. Me personally, I don't really like to work. And I tell this to everybody. I do not believe I was born to work. I think I was born to enjoy a beach, to enjoy some great food, a nice cocktail. Like that is what I was born to do. But getting up every day at 6 a.m., You know, being in meetings all day, dealing with people, like that's not really what I was born to do. And so, in order to get out of that rat race, we have to start reframing our mind. So, the reason why I'm like, for me, and my recommendation for you is to cut back on expenses is because we have to start thinking of money as a tool. Money in and of itself is not good and it's not bad, right? You know, people always quote that scripture like, money is the root of all evil. And that's actually not what it says. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. But again, money in and of itself is not good or bad, right? It's how you use it as a tool. So if you're using money to do destructive things, right, it's not the money that's bad, it's your mindset that's bad. If you're using the money to do positive and productive things and give back to people and pour into the world, you know, it's your mindset that's good. So we have to think of money as a tool and we have to think of it as a seed because that's what we're using to help us start to plant and build assets within our life so we don't have to work forever. Because to be honest, that is not my goal. I know some people, they love their job. Like they love their job. You know, I think sometimes there's people who love their job more than they love their family. You know, like they love coming into work. I know people who have the ability to take time off. They have tons of PTO and still prefer to be at work. And I think for those people, God bless you. You know, that's that's great. That is great for you. That is not me. I work because it's a means to an end. I, for now, need to work, but the goal is to have the money start to work for me. And my money is not working for me if I'm spending it at H&M all the time. You know, my money is not working for me if I'm buying new purses all the time or if I'm going out to eat all the time. Like that same $90 that I was giving every 2 weeks to get my lashes done, that could have been compounding an interest and it could have been paying me, you know? And that's how we have to start looking at money. It's not that you can't do it, right? It's just what is your actual long-term goal? Like in the next 10 years, I'll be 40 and I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I would make it to 65 trying to work. Like, not that type of job. I just don't think I would make it because at 30, I'm already like, this is for the birds. This is for the birds. So, and I actually have a very high paying job and I still don't want to work. I work from home and still that's not what I want to be doing with my time because time is something that you cannot get back, right? Time is really the only true, like, non-renewable resource because you can literally not create time, right? And so for me, no, I don't want to be spending the next 30 years of my life clocking in at a 9 to 5, right? So we have to start thinking of, again, money as a seed that should be working for us, not just throwing it away so easily. And like I told you guys, I'm learning myself. So I'm doing a big deep dive into a lot of articles and a lot of books and a lot of YouTube channels. And I was watching a YouTuber today, actually, and he was talking about creating a system for your money. So before you even get paid, you should know where your money is going to go. You should already have a plan of how that money is going to be spent, saved, and invested. And if you start to think of your money in those terms, I feel like we have a lot more conscious spending versus just this impulse buying, right? Because if I know, hey, I'm going to make X amount of money, um, let's say 75% of it is going to be spent for my expenses and for me to live, right? We still need to live. And now I know, like, let's say 15% of it, that's going to go to investment. And then 10% of that, that's going to be saved. If we start looking at money in that term and we actually know, like, okay, money is not meant to be wasted. Like, get it. I'm, and trust me, I get it. I'm still going to travel. I'm still going to live my life. I still will go out to eat and have fun with my friends and everything like that. But I'm also going to make sure that I have money saved. So over the next 30 years, that same $90, right, is not just going into somebody else's pocket, but it's making me a return month after month. And again, you can only kind of do that when you start to cut back on these unnecessary expenses. And it's almost like you have to fight consumerism in a sense, because again, in America, we are such a like spend, spend, spend type of economy, right? Everything is about money because it's so capitalistic here. But I feel like you really get to decide how you want to spend your money. And again, my advice to you is to just start to think of it as a tool, not just something that is so easily wasted. Because I feel like if a lot of people are honest, they get paid on Friday, and by Monday, the money is already gone. And it's like, I think we have to really start thinking about that. Like, that's not okay. So maybe that means, like, not only do you have to cut back on recreational things, maybe you need a roommate too. Like, maybe where you're living is a little too expensive. Maybe you need to get a cheaper car or something like that, because it's like, we really shouldn't be just having our money come in the door and gone in less than 48 hours. So that's my advice to you. Again, this is something that I'm challenging myself with, that I'm like, you know what? I am still going to get my nails done. You know, that's not going away. I am still going to get my hair done, but I can plan for those things. And by cutting out eating out every day, I actually have the money saved up to do the things that I do want to do. So, what is one boring thing that you can do today to start fueling your rich life? Thank you for watching, and be sure to subscribe.